Hey everyone, Chad Brown with the Kinsler or KB article. Sorry, always screw up the intro, but KB article. I am excited about today. We're being joined by Jesse DePriest, and Jesse is a coach, a mentor, and full disclosure, myself and my team, we work with him personally, but I think he's a great asset and tremendous value. I'm looking forward to him pouring in to all of you the information that he has regarding leadership, teams, and building good quality teams and psychological safety and a whole lot of concepts related to that. So welcome, Jesse.
Welcome, Chad. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure and honor to be here with the Kinsler Brown team and the KB article, talking to the tax and accounting pros and about life and problem solving and process improvement and all the things we can do to make our businesses better.
Yeah, brother, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Jesse, you're with Growth Guru, and as I said in the intro, we're working directly with you as a team with the ownership management for some business coaching, but it's business coaching. That's a very high. There's a lot in that box, right? Really, your sweet spot and what you like to focus on is leadership, team health, and psychological safety. So before we jump in and dive into all those concepts, which I don't think are foreign to a lot of us as entrepreneurs and business owners, but I think that psychological safety, that's kind of a complex term that I haven't heard it described that way, but we'll get into that. But tell us a little bit about your background, growing up, where you came from. I know you were some military engineering and now kind of a coach of people and teams. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chad. And all the work that we do with our clients, we can teach the methods and tools and approaches. At the end, everything defaults to leadership. And how are we showing up as leaders to engage our teams to create healthy work environments where people can be their best selves and do the best work? And then we can teach the tools to think bigger business and grow. That's what we're about. I grew up on a dairy farm in Palmer, Alaska. I was the youngest of 10 kids, milking the cows twice a day, 365. And you learn pretty quick about how to work together as a team, doing hard work every day. And I relish my roots because of that, because of what you learn in that environment and growing up like that. There are good days and bad days, and there's a vision and challenges and obstacles in that work, but you figure out pretty quickly how to get along and work together as a team to get the hard work done. Fast forward, I served a little bit of time in the Army as an aviation officer after college with a mechanical engineering degree, and that was a great experience. Get to lead and serve soldiers from all over the country in different parts of the world. Fast forward from there, I worked in different industries, mostly manufacturing, but had a really great, blessed career and diversified functional experiences. I get to work in engineering management, operations, product management, executive sales and business development, general management. But along the way, Chad, early in my career, I was fortunate to be coached and mentored by other great leaders, specifically in leadership development, but also with regards to lean, process improvement, continuous improvement, and problem solving. And so having that early career experience and coaching, fast forward, you pick up some other credentials along the way, and you find yourself in a place where you're coaching other leaders the way you were coached early in your career. And it's just a blessing to be able to pass that on to other people and really just help others be successful in their work and in their businesses. So I was, a corporate director of continuous improvement and a transformation coach, where I was doing this kind of work internally of different manufacturing companies and banking and service industries. And along the way in my coaching practice, it started to evolve to something significant. And I met Rick Faber, and he and I are now partnered with Growth Guru. And this is the work we do. We help business leaders and their teams do their work better. We help people think bigger business, and it invokes all of that body of knowledge that you accumulate over a career, and offer that now to other leaders to help them improve and grow. So that's what we're doing. That's why we're here.
No, that's awesome, man. And you made an important point, like the value those mentors you had early in your career. I think so many of us, especially if we start out young in entrepreneurship, I did. I was out there. I thought I had all the answers, knew everything. Right. I was like, okay, I had no guiding ship. My family was supporting me and propping me up, but they didn't know the operations, leadership, the delegation skills, and all of that stuff, right? And it wasn't until probably when I met my business partner, he had a lot of the stuff I didn't have, and he had some of that mentorship along the way. So I started growing a little bit, and then I joined some mastermind groups and talking to other business owners. And one of the things that separated those like me that were still kind of average, I would say, doing well, growing, right? And those that were leveling up, selling year after year after year, is they had somebody that they looked up to, they talked to, and that pulled them up with them. So I think, you're working as our business coach, but I think, yourself and your leadership style and pouring into others, that's rubbed off on me, as well as some of the mentors or the mastermind groups I've been in that help raise that level. And I can attest with our team.
Yeah. No,
it's not an overnight thing.
Exactly.
Right. It's an investment, but the ROI does come from core values to preaching it, living it, being it, honoring those core values, even when it hurts sometimes, right?
Yeah.
The short-term pain.
That's right.
Believe me, we're experiencing some longer-term success due to some of that pain, that this core value. So
we stand on the shoulders of giants. If we're lucky and blessed in our career, there's people in our life that coach and mentor us along the way, and we learn from that, and we build and expand on it, and then we're able to offer that to other people. I'll just fast forward for a second based on what you just said about companies that maybe are doing okay or maybe not doing so okay versus the ones that excel. It requires work. It requires proactive energy into your systems, into your people to achieve that growth. There's only one thing that is successful on its own with no energy or input, and it's rust. Right? Rust is the only thing that can be successful without putting any effort or energy into it. So if we want to grow and be better, it requires that discipline and energy. And oftentimes it requires some external force and consequence to inspire us and to keep us in check to the work that we need to do to get there.
Good. So a lot of your work is performed working directly with teams, and you talk about team health and the importance of that. Can you elaborate when you talk about team health? Are we talking fitness, spiritual, mental, a little bit of everything?
Well, we know what physical health is and what is required to maintain good physical health. Again, it doesn't happen by being static. We have to do a little bit of hard work every day to maintain our health. And the same is true about our teams. This thing about lean leadership and authentic leadership that creates safe workplaces for people to be able to participate without fear is not a passive thing. It requires intention and focus and energy and discipline every day as a leader to create those environments where we can have a good team health. So team health for me, there's a couple different models for us to think about. We don't have to invent this stuff on our own per se, but we take those lessons and apply it and make it our own. If we read Patrick Lencioni as an example and his work around team health in the pyramid, it starts with trust. And if we have good trusting relationships, we can then have good rigorous debates about ideas. It's called productive conflict. And through that productive conflict, then we can get to really good answers in ideas that we can commit to. So we get to commitment. And then once you're committed, then we can have good accountability because we've agreed through that rigorous debate and everyone's voices were heard. And once we have that good accountability to the important work we need to do, it leads to better results. So it's just one framework or model we can think about in terms of team health. But we know what it is. Like, without specific vocabulary or words, maybe it's hard for us to put our hands on. But we talk to anybody about different organizations maybe they've worked in that weren't great, where it was fear-driven and coercive, and there was bad leadership behaviors that drove certain people to feel certain ways that's not good. So we know what unhealthy is, and I think we know and feel when there is good team health. But with some coaching and methods, we can help leaders and their teams work on this to be better. And the model I just described is one. Another model just around psychological safety, and I'm reading and learning a lot about this because I think it's helpful for our clients, is a culture of rewarded vulnerability, where every interaction with another human being is an opportunity to influence them. Well, as a leader, we have to be asking, if I'm influencing somebody, then for what purpose? And so it speaks to our vision and our mission and what we're trying to do together. But we need people to move in the direction that we want to go with the organization. And that interaction to influence another human being can either be positive, where I'm rewarding vulnerability, or negative, where I'm punishing vulnerability. And there's really no middle ground. It's either one or the other. And we can just think about, how are we interacting with people to really build them up and create that environment where people feel safe, with the absence of fear, to participate, to learn, to challenge the status quo, and be truly part of the team, and their voices are heard. And when we create a work environment like that, it's healthy. And we are invoking the intellectual collection of everybody's mental capacities and energy and ideas. And that is far better than squelching ideas, and creating an environment where people don't feel it's safe to even participate. So that's what it's about. Yeah.
So generally making it safe where they feel like they can be fully transparent and as part of the team, but not face any repercussions or judgment or ridicule, personal attacks.
Right.
In a nutshell.
We go back to absolutely 100%. We go back to Deming and his teachings, in his 14 points of management. Point number 7, I believe, is to drive fear out of the organization. This is one of our primary responsibilities of leadership, is to create that environment where we're driving fear out. Well, how do we do that? I mean, I think conceptually we can see that and agree that we should do that, but how? And how can we create good leadership behaviors so that we can evolve and produce work environments that's safe for people to participate, that leads to good team health. So just dabble on that just a tiny bit more, Chad. This environment of psychological safety, where people feel free, where there's no fear to first of all show up and be part of the team. It can be scary for some people just to show up and be included, right? And that inclusion really is not something you should have to earn. It should be a right. If I'm on your team, then you should include me, and I should feel safe to be included. Then the second thing is we're learning how to do the job. We're learning how to solve problems. We're making mistakes. So is it safe for me to learn? And then as I get proficient and am able to do the job, then I can fully participate. And is it safe for me to participate on the team and speak up and share some ideas? And then the ultimate level of team health is when it's safe for me to challenge. I can challenge the boss. I can challenge the owner. I can speak up if I think we're going the wrong direction, and that's all good. And I probably should put quick shout out on the source of this learning for me is a podcast called Culture by Design. And there's an organization called Leader Factor that has produced a couple of books around this that I think is fascinating and very, very good. So these aren't my ideas, but I believe they're best practices and something we can all learn from and apply in our practice too.
No, that's awesome. That's good stuff. Just real quick, and we don't have to go into too much detail on this, but I was on a call in a group I'm with. There was 9 of us on this call, and it was like yesterday evening. And I thought it was kind of ironic. We were having this conversation today about leadership and different styles. And it's a lot of entrepreneurs from, some just getting their feet wet to others that are, they've got the name of their business is got group in it. That means they've got a group of companies that they own, right? And they talk about leadership style and ask, what are you? And I don't remember all of them because the slide wasn't up very long and I didn't take great notes. But the first one was autocracy.
Mm-hmm.
The second, democratic style.
Mm-hmm.
The last was meritocracy. Is that the goal of most teams, to have true psychological and team health, or safety and team health? Is that?
Yeah, no, I'm picking up on the spirit of what you're saying, and it's like a decision model or leadership behavior on one end or extreme, spectrum is that dictatorship, right? Command and control. I make the decision with little or no input from people. Versus the other very end is like we're seeking consensus, and we want everybody to be happy in that decision. It's like these extremes. In our leadership behavior it's a spectrum. It's not like one or the other. It's like, where are you in that spectrum? And maybe something right in the middle is around team engagement and influence, where we can have rigorous debates and come out with good discussions. We're not making decisions through voting. We're not making decisions by command and control and dictatorship, autocracy, right? And I think the right answer is somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
But it's also a function and nature of the problem or the circumstance you're dealing with, right? If it's a 911 emergency, we shouldn't have a debate about what we should do. Someone needs to take charge and tell people what to do, because it's important. We don't have time for that. And other times, if the issue isn't terribly serious and we just want to get everybody involved, and it's okay, and let the team decide, vote, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But when we're doing innovation, when we're solving really big problems of the business, we need to have that discussion in that time where we're innovating and solving big problems is necessary. So finding where we can play like that as a leadership and a team is, I think, the goal. Not that we wouldn't do those other things.
Sure.
There are times and circumstances we do that.
No, that's a great answer. And the discussion after that was kind of put up there. Where do you fall? And some said here, some said there. And I'm like, I don't know. It's a little bit of everything. And I think there was some confusion that everybody thought they had to fit in a box.
No.
And I'm like, well, it depends on the situation, right?
Circumstantial. That's right.
Because so many times, especially if you're young and entrepreneur, you say, okay, I got to be this way because the first 2 years in businesses typically are autocratic, or don't put yourself in a box. All of those different variables. Sometimes you're going to have to make those 911 decisions and it's going to be quick, right? Sometimes you have the luxury and to sit back and let your team come up with the answers, and that builds that team and their confidence and so on. So that's good.
Well, the other thing too is like there's a difference between, let's say, execution or operations. Like we have an ongoing concern, we're running the business, versus innovation and improvement. And if I'm in the execution mode, hierarchies and structure is built for that. It's built for doing the work as it has been designed. But if we want to change and improve that, we got to be intentional about creating time and space for us to innovate and change and make improvement. So there's times it's appropriate when the leader makes a decision without much input, typically emergencies and chaos, or when there's a crisis. But we don't want to live there. We can't do all of our work there. And the same is true about the other end of the spectrum. If I'm doing this in a very democratic, I'm trying to reach consensus, it takes a long time. And typically, sometimes we don't make terribly good decisions because we're trying to make everybody happy.
Right.
This thing in the middle requires time and intention. And it can be hard. It can be hard because it sounds like a struggle. It sounds like a debate. And if we're healthy in a trusting environment, we can do that good work and still love each other at the end of it. And that's what we're trying to do, Chad. Amen. Great discussion. That's a good question.
No, that's awesome, man. I know this content's valuable to a lot of the folks that listen to our podcast, because they're entrepreneurs from A to Z and maturity, and it's a lot of good stuff. Kind of take it out of the business component for the rest of the call here, and before we wrap things up, is we've done some things outside of the business world. One of the things you brought to my attention is F3. Kind of a fitness program. It's a great concept. Might have you speak a little bit about that, but more of kind of outside the four walls or the world of business. What's your ultimate purpose that you want to drive? And I know I've seen through F3, that organization, some of your leadership and your relationships just with people and kind of that brotherhood and the things you do to help and motivate others within that organization. So what is your purpose in all of that?
My purpose ultimately is to help other people be better. In a business setting, it's about helping leaders and their teams do their work better. Whatever the problem is or whatever the thing is, whether it's team health or a technical problem solving approach, whatever that thing is, but I'm not the man or the woman, right? I want to be the person behind the leader that helps the leader be successful. There was a point in my life, Chad, where I thought I wanted to be the CEO and that kind of stuff. You bunk on that path and career, and it just wasn't for me. But what I have found, and maybe this speaks to my roots as being the youngest of 10 on a big dairy farm, doing hard work all the time, it was rare when I got to be the leader. But I was always the person behind the scenes helping people do work, whether through most of my career, and certainly have had my seat in the key leadership position and knowing what that means when other people have helped me. And I found that to be my purpose. So you apply that to our personal life or just in other environments, the same is true. I like to think about, the difference between, being nice and being kind. And as a lean coach and leadership coach, I like to teach and coach people to be hard on the process, be kind to the people. And being kind is not what I don't mean being nice is nice. Being nice is being pleasant and positive and greeting you with a smile and asking you about your day. But it's superficial and it doesn't get very deep. Being kind means to create better outcomes for other people. It means we're going to have to do some hard work. We're going to have to get candid and be authentic about where we are and where we want to go and what is the work that's necessary to achieve that. And helping people discover that and encourage them in that work. Maybe sometimes it's instruction, sometimes it's praise, sometimes it's just good accountability. Whatever that is to help people achieve that better outcome for them. That's my purpose. That's my purpose in life that I've found. And if I can be a conduit through God and the Spirit to help other people achieve better outcomes for themselves and their businesses and their teams, brother, sign me up for that all day long. So F3 is a workout group for guys. We get together, but it's for that purpose. We're a workout group. We drink coffee, but it's really about the conversations we're having with other people and helping them grow and become better men and lifting people up. So
I love that.
Just on a side note too, F3 is for men.
I need to get more involved.
Which is for females. There's one for females too. Just want to throw that out there for women.
I'm sorry?
There's one for women too.
F3 is there?
Men.
Okay.
There's another one
called.
Well,
good. Well, hey, I love that definition of being kind. And nice is a lot of pleasantries, all of that, but it doesn't go deep. Being kind is focused on outcomes for others.
Right.
That's powerful, man. That's I've never really heard it defined that way. That's a powerful statement.
Amen. And it's about respect and not being satisfied with status quo. Like there's more for us. Being contented and happy and choosing a joyful spirit without being settled. Because if we have this abundance mindset, if we can see better outcomes for ourselves and others, that's what we want to do, is help people realize that and pursue those dreams.
Jesse, man, this has been so good. I know everybody that listens to it's going to get value. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your time, all the knowledge. where can folks contact you or get in touch with you? Social, by phone, your digits, address, old school, whatever it is that you want to share so people can connect with you.
Yeah, simplest answer is go see our website at mygrowthguru.com, mygrowthguru.com. And my partner, Rick Faber, and I are there. You can find us on LinkedIn. So just type in Jesse DePriest or Rick Faber on LinkedIn and you'll find us there. Happy to chat with you about how we can help you grow in your business and realize your dreams too. And it's been a pleasure, Chad, working with you and your team. You guys got
I appreciate
very good business. And hey, just shout out to Kinsler Brown here. You need some
Hey man, I appreciate it.
You call Chad. You call Chad and they will take
I
care of
appreciate that. And definitely it's a pleasure having you on. A wealth of knowledge. Everyone check out Jesse and his partner Rick over at mygrowthguru.com or look up Jesse DePriest on LinkedIn. Appreciate you spending a few minutes with us, listening in, and hopefully you got some value. Tune in again. We'll have more episodes that bring more value to entrepreneurs just like yourself, or just those looking to be better in their entrepreneurship journey, their personal journey, or in their career. So we'll talk to you again soon.
Right on. Thanks, Chad.